Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up to the creep, man? Hey, I'm finna put something on you so cold, man. Check it out, man. This dude hopped up on my We're Not Egyptians video. He started trying to go in, you feel me, and start trying to say all this stuff. So, guess what? It's Black History Month. So, I'm gonna give y'all some real Black history for Black History Month because the schools ain't gonna do it. So, let me do it one time for the one time. Yeah! Yes, sir. Let's go right in, for go right to the mud. It's crazy. I told my cousin every word you just said. Thanks for the confirmation. Wow, I'm speechless. All right, here we go. Yeah, I think this dude is one of Young Steel subscribers. Hey, bro, get your subscribers in check, bro. How they all up on your page, but they talking like this? Cause I'm feeling great. He said, "Black people are not Egyptians or Jews. You are black." He said Jews are Jewish. He said they have tan skin. Some of them are white because they spent a long time in Europe and adapted over time to a cold climate. Those with the lightest skin have a higher survival rate in colder climates. Wrong, boyo. For one, that's the dumbest stuff I ever heard. He said just because you live in a colder climate, your skin gonna get lighter over time. Boy, you slow, boy. You know what? You sound just as dumb as this one Mexican girl before. I was like, why you think y'all got color or whatever the case is? Cause she was like, Mexicans are just white people from Spain, right? She was like, aren't we just really she was basically like, aren't we all really white people, but we moved to Mexico from Spain, so we start getting tans and we got darker. Like, it don't work like that. You can't go get a tan and just because you spend time in the sun, your children are gonna come out darker. That makes no sense, bro. Just because you say me and a whole bunch of other dark skinned people moved to Alaska, over time our generations aren't going to have lighter skin colors just because we live in a colder climate. Genetics are what decide that. Messing around with people with lighter skin colors is what's going to do something like that, bro. Or just because our recessive light skin traits within us already, not because of we're in a colder climate, bro. That makes no sense on me. And if that's the case, all them Israelis, those fake Jewish people over there in Israel right now, they should be having darker kids if that's the case. And they're not. They're getting skin cancer instead. Israel used to have one of the highest skin cancer rates in the whole entire world. That and Australia. Why? Because those people don't belong there. He said, what color is bronze? He said, I guess you completely missed the part about his face being white as wool. Well, we all know what color bronze is, and you're mad because the original Greek in the New Testament said that Christ had hair like wool, and it said his feet was like burnt bronze, bro, on me. And in the New Testament now it says brass, but in the original that it was written in, which was Greek, it says bronze. So why is you trying to disregard the whole part about being bronze? And it never said nothing about his face being white as wool. Where you even get that from? I say his head and his hairs were white like wool. Silly, they were talking about his hair and beard, which looked like white wool. He said it says his head was white as wool. I don't even know why I was even responding to this dude. He said it said his head was as white as wool. That would include his face. And even if it doesn't include his face, you can't assume all of his skin was burnt like brass because it only mentions his feet. I don't know. I can't speak on no other race or whatever the case it is, but for so-called black people, our feet are like the lightest thing on our body, bro. It gets no sun. Tell a black person to take their so-called shoes and socks off, bro. The feet gonna be the lightest thing on their body, damn near, boy. You tweaking. So imagine if it said his feet look like burnt bronze, then just imagine what he looked like. This dude mad. You mad? Wow, wow. You mad? You mad, bro? On me. You mad? We the chosen. He said the Book of Revelation is metaphorical, not literal. If I'm not even finna read all this, bro. He's saying too much. Even if John was seeing the actual risen Jesus and it wasn't a vision, it still only mentions his feet, not the rest of his skin. Obviously, he was in a different state than when he was on earth, so his appearance doesn't describe his ways. Jesus was Jewish, not black. He had tan skin, not brown skin. It just said what his skin looked like. It said his feet looked like bronze as if it was burned in a furnace. Are you serious, bro? Are you serious? It did describe him, bro. You tripping. He said Jewish was Jewish, not black. Jewish is not a race, bro. Jewish is not a race. For one, that's a religion. If you subscribe to Judaism, you are Jewish or whatever the case it is, and you cannot find Jewish nowhere in the Bible except like one time, bro. Jewish ain't even in the Bible, and we know nobody that's a real Israelite considers herself Jewish because ish means what? Pertaining to, imitating. If I say that looks greenish, that means it looks like green, but it's not green. It's similar to green, but it's not green. If you ask me what time it is and I say, oh, it's about 4-ish, that means it's about 4 o'clock, but it's not 4 o'clock. It's almost 4 o'clock, but it's not 4 o'clock. So that's why they call themselves Jewish, because they're acting like Jews. They're imitating Jews. What you talking about, boy? Come on, man. Sit down somewhere, cuz. He said, Abraham, Moses, Solomon, all the prophets and Israelites were and still are Jewish, not black. Oh man, I'm finna have a heyday with this kid. For one, to be a Jew only pertains to one tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel. There are 12 tribes of Israel, and Judah is the head tribe of all the tribes of Israel. But also the tribes of Benjamin and Levi can be considered Jews too, because those are all the Negro tribes, and they all stayed together. They were part of the southern kingdom of Israel. There's the northern kingdom and there's the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom was the other tribes, the so-called Latino and Hispanic tribes. The southern kingdom was the Negro tribes, the Jews. The tribe of Judah, That's why in the Bible they always split them up. They be like Judah and Israel, but we're all Israelites. So why don't they call us one thing? No, they always said Judah and Israel, Judah, Israel. They said it as if we were separate, but we were the same family, but we were two different kingdoms of the same one big kingdom. We were two different parts of the same one big kingdom. So the Jews were the southern kingdom. That was the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. That's where they stayed at. And then all the other tribes stayed in the northern kingdom in northern Israel, bro. So you got it all wrong. Only one tribe can really consider themselves to be Jews. Everybody else is just Israelites, just Hebrew Israelites, bro. Real stuff. So get your story straight. This just shows you don't know what you're talking about, bro. On me, and that's another thing. That's why you can go ask all these fake Jewish people what tribe you're from, and they don't know what tribe they're from, bro. On me, they just gonna say something. You feel me? They don't even know about the tribes. They never even really think about the tribes. They just think everybody is just one thing, so they just all call themselves Jewish. They don't even know about the tribes, bro. They don't even speak on the different tribes, bro. On me. He said, I don't know why black people are too stupid to understand this basic truth. It's like you're autistic or something. Years of weed, alcohol, and trap music has made you lazy and retarded to the point where your minds are as simple as babies. Okay. Now that I can agree with on me. That's something I could agree with. Black people have been destroyed. Black people, years of trap music and drugs and all this have destroyed us. I can agree with that, bro, on some real stuff. On some real stuff. We're lazy. I can agree with that on some real stuff, bro. On me. But all the other stuff he's saying is awesome BS, fam. Smoke up in the air. Fuck is you talking about? He says, made you lazy and retarded to the point where your minds are as simple as babies. Stop being a retard. You are not a Hebrew. You're not an Israelite. He said, you're black, not Jewish. So then this goes again to show you these so-called white people, how they want to try to fit us into their corporate terms. Because if you look up the definitions for black, it means all bad stuff. Hold on. Let me look it up real quick. Matter of fact, I could do it right here. Alright, let's look up definitions of black, y'all. Of a period or time or situation characterized by tragic or disastrous events causing despair or pessimism. Person state of mind. Black definition. Full of gloom or misery. Very depressed. Presenting tragic or harrowing situations in comic terms. Full of anger or hatred. Very evil or wicked. Angry, annoyed, irate, irritated, unhealthy, ghoulish, weird, sick, cynical, miserable, unhappy, sad, wretched, brokenhearted, catastrophic, cataclysmic, calamitous, disastrous, tragic. Look at the definitions of black, bro. Look at the definitions of black. But when you look at the definitions of white, guess what you see? Pure. Stuff like that. Stuff that seems good, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. Stop playing. Let me look up the synonyms. Because definitions of white include what? Pure, good, light, stuff like that. I can't even find it right now, and I ain't even got time to be going through all this. But yeah, fam, you can find in the definition of white, you can find pure, you can find light, you can find good, you can find stuff like that, bro. Stuff that you cannot find under the definitions of black. So, again, remember, and then look right here, opposite, black. So look at all the definitions of black that they gave for black. So that means the opposite of all that would be the definitions for white, bro. Like on some real stuff, fam. So again, that's them using words as spells, bro. They want us to be considered black. How do we go from Negroes to niggers to niggas to Afro Americans to black and then to African American? Like, they just gonna give us whatever names they want, bro. They gonna keep on. They're giving us these names. We didn't give ourselves none of these names. They gave us these names, bro, on some real stuff. So that's why they want to call us black. Nothing sounds good about black. You feel me? Real stuff. We are Israelites. We are Hebrew Israelites. We are that. Y'all want to be mad and try to put all these little terms on us and stuff. So let me go ahead and prove to y'all that the people of the Bible was black, bro. Job 30:30. My skin is black upon me. Okay, so if they were white, like what you said, or tan skin, there's no way they'd be calling themselves black. There's just no way. Lamentations 4:8. Their visage is blacker than a coal. If you look up the definition for visage, visage means face. It says their face is blacker than a coal, bro. How could any so-called white people ever describe themselves as being blacker than a coal, bro? Are you serious, bro? Let's keep it moving. Lamentations 5:10. Our skin was black like an oven because of terrible famines. All right, so look. When so-called black people, that's why I always say so-called, because I don't like calling us black. Just like they're not white. There's nobody that's black or white on the face of this earth. You never seen nobody this color on the face of the earth. This is black. You never seen nobody this color on the face of the earth. You never seen nobody this color on the face of the earth. This is white. We are all different shades of brown, except for the so-called white person. He is red because his blood shows forth through his skin because he lacks pigmentation. So again, when darker skinned people go through famines or they get sick, their skin gets darker when we get sick, bro. When lighter skinned people get sick or they starve, they get pale, bro. It's a difference. So there's no way that so-called white people their skin would have got black like an oven because of a famine. If they started starving, they would start getting pale, bro. Some real stuff. Revelation 1:14-15. This is the description of Christ, the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus. It says his head and his hairs were white like wool. Of course, when you see my head, do you see scalp? No, so it's not talking about my actual head. It's talking about what you see when you look at my head, bro. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. So it's saying the color was white as snow because what? When they depict Christ coming back, they picture him with all white hair and stuff like that. You feel me? Because he has so much wisdom. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. Like I said, again, remember that. Remember that his feet like unto fine brass, bro. In the New Testament, the original word in the Greek was bronze. So even so, because what color is burnt? Anything that you burn in the furnace, what color is going to come out? Thank you. Black, right? So it said brass, but in the original New Testament, it was bronze, and bronze itself is already this color. This is already bronze. Right here, this is bronze, bro. So burning down the furnace, so this was a dark man. He was pure. He was pure. He ain't have none of all them other mixed up stuff up in his blood. He was pure. He was a dark man. What are you talking about? And the voice is sound of many waters because it carry. You feel me? Just like when somebody with a lot of bass, a deep voice, when they talk and they speak, it carry. Like sound of many waters, like you hear a waterfall in the distance, bro. Real stuff, because that's how Christ was. He was speaking to thousands of people at a time, bro. He was speaking to hundreds at a time. He was speaking to crowds of people, bro. Big crowds was coming to listen to this man speak, bro. Is you serious? So he had to be loud. His voice had to carry, bro. Daniel 7 and 9. This is speaking on the Most High, the Ancient of Days. That's the Most High, right? The Father, right? So because the son gonna look like the Father, right? Your kid gonna come out looking something like you, right? It said, I beheld till the thrones were cast down. The Ancient of Days did say, the Ancient of Days is the Most High, the Father. It says, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. So even the Most High has woolly hair. Like, so when you see these so-called black folks out here with afros and stuff, the Most High has woolly hair like that, nappy woolly hair. His hair, the hair of his head like the pure wool. The pure wool. Have you seen pure wool? It look just like so-called black people hair. It's nappy, it's messy, all that stuff, bro. Is you serious? Now let's keep it going. Speaking on the Most High again. And his body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as the lamp of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. Even the Most High, again, they going in bringing up the brass, and this was in the Old Testament. This wasn't even New Testament. The Christ wasn't even on the scene yet, and they was already explaining what the Most High looked like. He got woolly hair and brass skin too, polished brass, bro. Come on now, stop playing. Song of Solomon 1 and 5. I am black but comely, which means beautiful. So even back then they were saying I'm black and beautiful, just like we still say to this day. I am black but comely. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar. Kedar literally means dark skin, bro. Literally, go look it up. This word right here, Kedar. Kedar literally means dark skin. As the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun had looked upon me, bro. So again, more evidence of these people speaking in the Bible of their dark skin. And this is from the Song of Solomon, which King Solomon was the son of King David, bro. On me, everybody know King David. Everybody heard of David versus Goliath. King David was the greatest king besides his son, King Solomon, was the greatest king that was ever on the face of this earth, bro. On me, bro. Exodus 4 and 7. And the Lord, furthermore, hold on. And the Lord said, this, oh no, he's talking to Moses in this part right here. So right here, he's talking about Moses. And basically, he was trying to prove to Moses that he was the Lord. And it said, and the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was as leprous as snow. And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again. And he put thy hand into thy bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it turned again as his other flesh. So if these were already so-called white people, how would that be a cool thing for him to put his hand away and he pull it out and it turn out white? You feel me? Hold on real quick, y'all. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Acts 13 and 1. Alright, it says, now, there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon called Niger. On some real stuff, do y'all see this? The Latin word to pronounce this word is nigger. Simeon was called a nigger, so we've been getting called nigger. We've been getting called nigger since the beginning. We've been going by that. Simeon was called nigger in the Bible, again showing you the type of people that these was in the Bible. He was considered a nigger. We still get considered that to this day, bro. Stop playing, bro. Deuteronomy 28, again. Deuteronomy 28 going over the curses that we was going to go through if we didn't follow the Lord's commandments and his laws. Go to 28 and 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. Keep on going. 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. You can keep on going to all these curses and stuff like, oh, here go another good one right here. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and thirst and in nakedness. So anytime we want to eat or we want some food, who we got to buy from? Our enemies. Anytime we need something to drink, who we got to buy from? Our enemies. And in nakedness. Anytime we want to go buy clothes, anything we got to go buy, who we got to go get it from? Our enemies, right? So it say, and in one of all things, these so-called Jewish people of today, these so-called white people, Jewish people, they're the ones that own everything. So how does that? They don't fit none of this description, my dude. Show me how they fit any of these descriptions. When did they go into slavery? When did their sons and daughters get taken away from them? When did they have to serve every other nation and all their enemies in hunger and thirst and nakedness, bro? It is a known fact that they run everything, that they own all the banks, that they have the most money in the world right now, bro. So again, they do not fit that description. Let's keep going. It say, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. It says, as swift as the eagle flieth. Now, who has always used the eagle as their symbol? The Greeks, the Romans, the Americans. They use the eagle, right? All these European countries use the eagle as their symbol, bro. On me. To this day, they still use the eagle, bro. Again, showing you. Alright. Keep it moving. Matter of fact, let me get to the point with this one. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt coming from a Greek word, Egyptos, which means captivity, bro. So it's talking about slavery, going into slavery again with ships. By the way, whereof I spake unto thee. So just as he said it was going to happen by ships and boats, that's how it's going to happen. And it said, thou shalt see it no more again, talking about our homeland. And there ye shall be sold into your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. And no man shall buy you. Buy coming from an old English word meaning to redeem. You know how they always talk about the chosen ones to be redeemed by the Lord? Yeah, so no man shall redeem you. That's what they're talking about. It's an old English word. So, going into slavery again with ships. So what dark-skinned people, because from everything I read, what so-called black people or dark-skinned people have went into slavery by ships? Who? Huh? We the only ones that fit that description. Us, alongside the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, they all fit that description too. When the Spaniards came over here, when the English came over here, they was taking a lot of Latinos and Hispanics and Native Americans back to Europe to be slaves too. So they went into slavery by ships as well. They're just not as keen on their history as we are, because they don't really teach their history over in schools here in America. They don't teach the history about how the Latinos was enslaved too, bro. On me, because they don't want to make more enemies. And the Latinos seem to be complacent because they like mixed in with them. So, you know, a lot of people from Spain and a lot of people from Spain still live amongst the Latinos in their home countries, you know. So it's like a big mixture. So it's a lot. It's just like here. There's white people and there's black people. That's how it is in the Latino countries. There's white people and then actual indigenous Indians, but it's hard to tell the difference between the two because they become so mixed in. So you don't know who's really from the bloodline of the real indigenous Indians, and you don't know who's really from the bloodline of the Spaniards, the conquistadors, the colonists. So again, these so-called Jewish people that everybody recognizes as Jewish people today, these so-called white people, they do not fit none of this description. When did they go into slavery by ships? When? Okay then. Revelation 2 and 9. I know thy works and thy tribulation and thy in poverty, but thou art rich. Because we're going through a lot of stuff right now. We're at the bottom of the bottom, but he's saying we're still rich. And he said, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Thank you. Let's go again in Revelation 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. So whoever is claiming to be the Jews right now, the real Jews, whoever's claiming to be the Jewish people and staying in the land of Israel and Jerusalem right now, he's saying to us that they are fakes. This is in the book of Revelation, the last book of the Bible, which talks about the modern day. These are fakes, bro. Come on, man. Get it together, G. Now let's move on with it. Now, explaining the Latinos for all these Negro-only Israelites that say, oh, it's only black people, all the Latinos are white, this and that. You have right. Half of them are white, but the other half is still our people. The Aztecs, the Incans, the Mayans, the Native Americans, the Tainos. Those are our people. Those are our family, and I'm finna prove it to you straight out the Bible, the Apocrypha, a part that they took out the Bible. That's part of the original 1611 King James version. Second Ezra 13 and 40. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Oshé the king, whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. So this happened because they kept on going against the Most High. That's why the Southern Kingdom didn't mess with the Northern Kingdom. Us Negroes, us Jews, we didn't really get along with the so-called Latinos and Hispanics, even back home in Israel and Jerusalem, bro, because they never really kept the laws like that, and we did. So we used to look down on them, like, you guys are so despicable, this and that. So finally, they kept on going through different captivities and being led captive by other nations and being enslaved by other nations. That's why they look different, because they was mixing in with all these different nations they was being led captive by. So the Syrians led them captive, and let's read on. It said, and he carried them over the waters. Over the waters, And so they came into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they will leave the multitude of the heathen. Remember, a heathen is a non-Israelite. Anybody that's not an Israelite is a heathen. It said, and go forth into a further country, where mankind never dwelt. Where did mankind never dwell? Oh, yeah, over here in the Americas, right? Right? Okay, let's go on. It said that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed them signs and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there is a great way to go, namely a year and a half. And the same region is called Azareth. It's kind of similar to America. Then dwelt they there until the latter time. What's the latter time? The nowadays, the last days, bro. These people weren't even discovered until, what, 1492, which is just a few hundred years ago, and they've been over there for so long by now, bro. They've been over there for so long, and they're just not being discovered in, like the last days. It said, then dwelt they there until the latter time, where we came and uncovered them now. Alright, so let's move on. This is talking about the ancient stones with Hebrew writing that they found in Puerto Rico, which was actually found in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and was covered up by the Smithsonian Institute. They regarded these as what's it called? Like basically a fake or whatever. I forgot what the term is they use or whatever, counterfeit or whatever the case is. They regarded them as fake and hid them. But then they were uncovered again in the early 2000s, and now this knowledge has just came out that this was real authentic Hebrew writing found in Puerto Rico. And they've been trying to hide it from us forever, because then the Puerto Ricans would have still been intact with some of their knowledge, knowing that they spoke Hebrew and that they was Israelites. Because once you figure out that you spoke Hebrew, you'll start digging even deeper, like, who speaks Hebrew? Oh yeah, the Israelites in the Bible, right? So this is proof, and y'all can all look this up. Over 800 stones with Hebrew writing in Puerto Rico has been authenticated. The same stones that the Smithsonian Institute in the early 1900s was trying to basically call a sham, basically call a fake or a scam or whatever the case it is. Trying to hide our history because they already knew that these Taino Indians were the lost tribes of Israel, bro. These Native Americans, these Aztecs, these Mayans, these Incans were the lost tribes of Israel, and they knew it, bro. So yeah, y'all can go look this up for yourself, bro. This is old history. They've been here for years, bro. Been here for years, bro. So go look this up yourself. This is more proof. Here go another piece of proof right here. You can type in what's it called? Houston Daily Post. Is that what I gotta get the real name. Yeah, the Houston Daily Post, September 20th, 1987. Just type that in. Houston Daily Post, September 20th, 1897. I said 1987, I messed up. 1897. And you can find the whole newspaper, the original newspaper. You can even go find the article in the original newspaper. But I just went to the part that has the article right here and right now. You feel me? So we ain't gotta go through all that scanning. But you can find the original newspaper and go find this article in the newspaper, bro. So here we go, right here. Negro, who can write Hebrew. He is deaf and dumb and comes from an African town. So this was a Negro around, and he was in America at the times of slavery, but he wasn't a slave. He was a free man. He came over Africa by choice. He didn't come over here as a slave. You feel me? He came over here by his own choice. So it says Hartford, Connecticut, September 19th. A young African Negro has been in this city for the last few days who claims to be a Hebrew. He is deaf and dumb and as black as an ace of spades. So this dude couldn't even hear, you feel me? So all he could do was speak, but he couldn't really hear nothing. He carries a pad of paper with him and answers all questions by writing them in Hebrew and Lashon Kadesh, which means holy tongue. What excites the most wonder is that he writes Lashon Kadesh very rapidly. It is the language of the book of Moses and is made a special study of, spoken and written with ease only by rabbis and highly educated Hebrews. The Negro was sent to one of the rabbis of Hartford who is perfectly satisfied that he is a Hebrew. So they basically sent this to a white so-called Jewish person, a rabbi, and the dude was basically like, dude, there's no way this dude's not a Hebrew. Like, he speaks it better than me type stuff, you feel me? Even though they're the imposters anyways. And it says, he says that he came from a large town in Africa where there is a tribe of about 20,000 black Hebrews who speak Lashon Kadesh and are quite prosperous. He also says that his father is a rabbi in that town, and that is why his father took the trouble to teach him to write these languages, which needed an extra amount of labor on account of his being deaf and dumb. He says his people not only write Lashon Kadesh, but it's their speaking language as well. He left home a few years ago and has seen a good deal of the world. In each town he hunts up the Jewish section, and they give him clothes, food, and money. What surprises him, he writes, is that no Hebrew knows of his countrymen in Africa. So when he was coming across all these Jewish, so-called white Jewish settlers here in America, he was so surprised that they never heard of like a black Hebrew. He was so surprised that they didn't know black people in Africa spoke Hebrew, bro. Which goes again to show you how these people have tried so hard to bury our history, bro. Like on some real stuff. So how do you get two separate people from two separate, totally different places and they're speaking the same thing, bro? And just like Hitler said, these people are imposters. Hitler himself said these people are imitating the Oriental Negro, which basically means the Asiatic Negro, since the Middle East was considered part of Asia at that time, which it still is. So he's basically saying they're imitating the Asiatic Negro, fam. He said they're bastards, and this is in a book called Robert Hurstein. It's by Robert Hurstein. It's in an autobiography, fam. It's called it's by Life and Time Books. I think it's called World War II, the Nazis, bro. Hitler's own words, bro. He has it in there, fam. So how did these people that came from Poland and Germany, how are they speaking the same exact language as these people from parts of Africa, bro? Like I've been saying, fam, the whole time. We are the real Israelites, fam. And look, we got the. I know they wish they buried. I know they wish they buried this article. I know they wish this article did not exist anymore. But this is more further proof showing y'all. So all you people like Young Pharaoh, all you people on here talking all that bullshit, man. Come on, man. Show y'all proof. Let's see y'all proof. Where y'all proof that we came from Egypt? Where y'all proof at that we Egyptians? You are not Sudanese, boy. None of that, boy. On me. And even if we was, how's that gonna help us? Let's say that we was the real ancient Egyptians. Okay, where do we go now? When if all the black people finally acknowledge, okay, we the ancient Egyptians. Okay, what now? Nothing. We still don't go no fucking where. Fuck is you talking about? Nobody's fighting over Egypt, but you see the whole world is fighting over Israel. The whole world is fighting over Jerusalem. America and all the European countries give money to Israel yearly, bro. Like they're Israel's bitch, bro. Real life, they give money to Israel. They're like all under Israel, bro. At the end of the day, they're here to protect them. All these fake Jewish people, the people that run the world, the Illuminati, the elite, they're all what? Jewish, right? On some real stuff. So you got to know there's a deeper meaning to all this. They're not claiming to be Egyptian or none of that. Nobody's fighting to be Egyptian. And if we were finally acknowledged as the ancient Egyptians, nobody would care. Oh, big deal. But if we were to be acknowledged as the real Jews, the Israel, that's the biggest deal in the world, bro. You see how these people tripping in my comments because that'd be the worst case scenario for them. Because they've been treating the chosen people like this the whole time, bro. They've been beating down on God's chosen people, bro. And they know that it's a heavy price to pay for that, G. On some real stuff. Ain't nobody trying to be Egyptian. And if we was, that still ain't gonna help us, bro. Still ain't gonna save nobody, bro. On some real stuff. But if it come down to it, we was all the Israelites, we was all the real Jews. That's a big deal. Now they know what Christ looked like. All these so-called white people, a lot of them Christian, they worship Christ, this and that. That's gonna blow their minds. It's gonna fuck up their whole philosophy, bro. All that racism, yeah. Now we gonna we gonna be the racist ones. Now we gonna look down on everybody. We gonna be racist towards all you heathen because we know who we really is, like real stuff, bro. And we had a right to do it, bro. On some real stuff. When they finally realize that we are what they worship, bro, stop playing. They ain't worshiping Egypt, bro. They study Egypt, but they all feel like they built better civilizations than Egypt. The Romans, the Greeks, they all took Egypt. They all had their moment ruling Egypt. The Greeks had their moments ruling Egypt. The Romans had their moments ruling Egypt, and they took what they needed from that and built even greater empires than that. You feel me? So they already feel like they built better civilizations than Egypt. Yeah, they used Egypt to do it. They kind of mimicked a lot of stuff from Egypt to do it, but they already feel like they passed that. But one thing they always put themselves beneath is Israel and Jerusalem, man. Get it right. That's just think about it though. Our enemies took our stuff. The enemies and the Romans and the Israelites were arch rivals. They were rivals. They were sworn enemies on some real stuff. But then when the Romans conquered the Israelites and ran them out of Jerusalem, what they do after that? They adopted all their stuff. Now that's powerful as hell if your enemies adopt your shit and start following your shit, start following your beliefs. Then next thing you know, they call themselves the Holy Roman Empire, and they're walking around with crosses on all their armor and stuff like that. Like, come on, man, you see it using the Bible and stuff. Like, come on, man. This is another thing, man. Talking about Israel Hill, fam. It was a group of free black people, free slaves or whatever, and they created a place called Israel Hill. It was in the 1800s when slavery was still going on. And yeah, a whole bunch of people basically made this community for free black people, and they called it Israel Hill, and they was all calling themselves Israelites. Real stuff. This is at the time of slavery, bro. On me, and it was a very prosperous community. So look into that again. That's more proof, bro. Again, on top of we had Africans walking around here speaking Hebrew and some more stuff. Let's go to the Ashanti breastplate. Now, there's accounts from Europeans that the Ashantis wore breastplates, and there's even a picture that was drawn by a European that has resurfaced to this day. Look at that breastplate right there. That's the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what priests of Israel used to wear. The Israelite breastplate that has 12 different jewels or crystals in it, whatever the case. Here goes the original full picture. If I can even get it up. Here go the original picture. But yeah, these Ashanti men, the Ashanti tribe, which is actually the tribe that my father is said to have come from. That's what my father told me. He lives in Ghana, West Africa. And that's another thing. All these young Pharaoh, all these dudes talking Africa this, Africa that, Egypt this, Egypt that. They ain't even never been to Africa. They don't got no connections with nobody in Africa, bro. on me, but they speak so much on it. Like, stop playing. Like, my dad even know what he is. Like, a lot of people from Ghana and Nigeria know that they Israelites, bro. They know that they the real Jews, bro. And guess what? That's where we came from the west coast of Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, that area. We didn't come from all over. We wasn't coming from Ethiopia. We wasn't coming from Egypt as slaves, fam. Those were the people selling us as slaves, bro. We was coming out of West Africa, bro, and those people, a lot of people there know that they're the Israelites, know that they're Hebrews. You feel me? So again, going back into this breastplate, there's accounts of Ashanti men wearing this breastplate and claiming to be Israelites and also following the laws of the Bible, following the laws of Torah and stuff like that. So now let me show you what the Israelite version looked like. This is what it used to look like, something along them lines, and basically they will wear it on their chest. It's a breastplate. Just like that. So as you can see, there was Ashanti men back hundreds of years ago that was wearing Israelite breastplates, bro. Stop playing. Stop playing. We can go all day. And this ain't it. I'm going to keep going in. It's not over yet. This is just part one. Now let's go back to the Zondervan Bible Dictionary that was made by a white scholar. You know, they always used to teach us that we're the children of Ham, and that's why they justified taking us into slavery, because it said that Ham was supposed to be a servant to his brothers because he seen Noah naked. He seen his dad Noah naked, so he was supposed to be a servant to his brother. So they always used to consider us the children of Ham, which the dark-skinned races do come from Ham, but not us. And even the white scholars know that. It say Ham. This from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. He said not the Negroes. We are the ones that go by the Negroes, bro. Other people in Africa don't go by that. That's us, bro. And that's another thing. Y'all don't got nowhere. Y'all want to claim Africa so bad. If y'all go over there, y'all don't even know where to go. You don't even know what to claim. You gonna go to this person and be like, hey, what are you? They gonna say Ethiopian, not Africa. They gonna say I'm Liberian, I'm Libyan, not African. They gonna say I'm Egyptian, I'm Sudanese, not African. You gonna go over there and just say I'm African. They gonna look at you like, okay. You feel me? Like you don't even got a nation to claim, bro. On me. I'm trying to show y'all the nation to claim. There's more proof. Los Lunas Stone. It's in New Mexico. White people, when they first started coming to the Americas, they came across this stone in New Mexico. And it's called the Los Lunas Stone. And it was the 10 Commandments written in Hebrew. Because like I said, the Native Americans and the Latinos and Hispanics, the indigenous Americans, they spoke a form of Hebrew before they was conquered by the English and the Spaniards and the Portuguese. So yeah, look up the Los Lunas Stone, fam. That's more proof for y'all, bro. Los Lunas Stone, 10 Commandments, and written in Hebrew, and they came across this in a Native American settlement area, bro. Like where Native Americans was staying. There's more proof. Now here you go right here. Check this out. This is a whole newscast speaking on it. And I'm going to leave this video at this, you feel me? Because now it's probably getting too long.
In 1860, David Wyrick, he's a guy who surveyed the Newark earthworks. He was digging into a mound near those earthworks, and he found a wooden coffin made of oak. They opened up the coffin and found a skeleton of a man holding a little box. It was about 8.10 inches in size. The box had been cemented shut here. This, by the way, is sitting in Ohio. Well, he opened up the box and he found a little man inside, a little black stone. They took it to scholars, and they looked at it. The man seems to be carrying something, and there's writing here. At first, they couldn't recognize. The writing is, they thought in 1860, some sort of Hebrew. Well, finally, about 20 years later, they found some rabbis living in the area, and the rabbis looked at that, and they could read it. They said it was an old kind of block Hebrew, and it was a rendition of the 10 Commandments. Now, this is another piece. Block Hebrew, they said they'd never seen anything like it. Mainstream archaeologists at the time called this a hoax. But then in 1900, or just about after 1900, in Israel, they found the same block-style Hebrew writing, Mainstream archaeologists still dismiss the findings. They found it in Israel and they found it in Ohio. But there was another stone that...
So look, we got. Oh, they found one in Ohio. Do you hear that? They found one in Ohio, bro. Like, do you hear this stuff, bro? So then we got all these white people that want to deny it so bad. Because they hate it so much, they want to deny it so bad. I just showed y'all in the Bible where it spoke of the Latinos and Hispanics coming to a part of the world where mankind never dwelt, to finally keep the laws and commandments of the Most High. Then I just showed you out the white man's mouth himself, bro, on a newscast talking about how they spoke Hebrew. After I showed you the Puerto Ricans was speaking Hebrew, the Aztecs, the Incans, the Mayans, they all spoke a form of Hebrew, bro, on some real stuff, G. And now I'm coming back to show y'all this because this is what they don't want us to see. This is what they don't want us to know. So we got all these white people trying to keep the truth from us. And at the same time, we got all these dumbass niggas out here trying to lead everybody else astray, talking about all this other BS that do not apply to us and Egyptian this, Egyptian that, man. Get up out of here, man.
But they found that they couldn't argue. This is the Bat Creek Stone. It was found during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation. The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee, since it came from Cherokee country. They didn't realize that it's actually Hebrew. They had published this originally upside down. They threw it in a box at the bottom of the Smithsonian, put it in the basement. Many years later, a scholar took it out of the box, looked at it, and went, oh my gosh, it's upside down. It's Phoenician, ancient Hebrew. So what's going on here? What is that about? Where is that history?
Phone up. Where is that history? Where is that history, bro? Where is that history? I'm bringing it to y'all now. This is real black history, bro. I'm out.